I used to be a YouTuber. I made videos about black metal musicianship, mostly geared towards songwriting on the guitar, but occasionally branching into lyrics, vocals, composition, recording, pretty much whatever I felt like talking about at the time. I did this pretty consistently for about 5 years, and mainly I was just dumping out all the thoughts in my head as I was writing, recording, and producing music for my own black metal project, Apathy, which this channel is named after. I started in 2014 and released 2 videos a week, which quickly dropped down to 1 video a week, then 1 a month, and nowadays pretty much nothing. There are 2 reasons why I gave up. It wasn't due to lack of success. In fact, very early on, I had 2 extremely successful videos back to back, mostly thanks to the metal subreddit, deconstructing the 2-note riff and functional significance of tone in black metal. They combined for well over 100,000 views. Most of the 2,600 people subscribed to this channel and probably watching this video right now came from these 2 videos, and I could have used that to launch something bigger. New camera, microphone, production studio, but I didn't. The first reason I didn't pursue content creation is because I hated it. I loved thinking about metal, talking about metal, and even writing scripts for videos about metal. But sitting down and recording, editing, the content creation part sucked. And at the same time, I was actually creating music, something where I loved the entire part of the process. Content creation just took too much time from the thing that I actually wanted to do. Being poor and in college, I had a good reason to set my priority on just making music. I still made videos when I wanted to. At minimum, I put out at least 1 or 2 videos a year until recently, which brings me to the second reason I completely stopped. I just ran out of ideas. Until right now. The thing is, I didn't just use this channel back then to release content, and I don't just use this channel now to release my music, which is free to download on Bandcamp, linked below. I also use this channel to watch YouTube. This was and still is one of the best places on the internet to find all kinds of interesting things to learn about. And we all know the quality of this content on this site has been rapidly degraded by the overuse of AI to create generic slop. This is not a rant about that. That's overdone. This is a rant about the people who love to complain about the use of AI voices to narrate YouTube videos. The people who pat themselves on the backs for avoiding slop because a human is actually speaking to them. The thing is, you're still probably watching AI. The voice, as jarring and robotic as it is to listen to, was never the problem. The problem with AI content on YouTube is the script, because that's what the video is actually about. It is, in my opinion, infinitely better to watch a video written by a human that's narrated by an AI, as awful as that is, than to hear a person lifelessly read out middle school English class 5-paragraph essay quality AI written garbage. I don't watch any videos with AI voices because it's extremely rare for something to be human written, but I can see circumstances where someone needs to use AI to narrate their content due to disability, lack of equipment, or for translating content into another language. All of those uses are justified and forgivable. But in reality, the vast majority of AI narrated videos are also AI scripted, which again is the real problem. In a similar vein, just because someone doesn't use AI generated background images, it doesn't mean it isn't slop either. The generic stock footage library, that slow motion B-roll of a drone flying over a city, or some dude in an office typing at his computer, which has nothing to do with the content, that's been around for 10 years by now. That too is equally unimaginative, uncreative slop. The AI voice is not the problem. The AI images are not the problem. The problem is the script, the actual content of the video. There are still great channels out there, Primitive Technology probably being the greatest of all time. Cooking YouTube is largely untouched. Somebody actually still has to cook the food. Townsend's is still going strong. Let Me Know, Bobby Broccoli, and The Missing Enigma. Creators that basically invent a new style of video, which then gets AI trained and slopped to hell by a million copycats. It seems like less and less new channels are coming out with this level of quality, but they still do pop up from time to time. So while YouTube is dying, it's not quite dead. This video simply serves as a gentle reminder that the next time you click on a channel that is narrated by a human, put together with real non-AI generated pictures and footage, it's still probably AI. So anyway, I'm releasing a new album, and it's going to be under a new project called Atrophy. Here is the logo and album cover that I drew with a pencil, not AI generated. Here is a digitized version It is a photo that I took and then cleaned up, not AI processed. The reason this is going to come out under a new project is mainly because it's not really black metal. The idea to start this project came after I released Apathy Reborn, the 10-year anniversary recreation of the first Apathy demo on September 6th of 2024. Immediately after that, I jumped into writing a new album. The thing about Apathy is the trajectory has been planned out for the next 20 years with 7 main albums left to go. This album was not one of those 7. It was just something to release in between, and I just couldn't make it work. Just like my YouTube content, I ran out of fresh ideas. So I made a decision. Those 7 albums that I have planned out for Apathy, that's gonna be it, for Apathy, at least. The next album is slated for 2029. You might notice that's quite a while away. So in the meantime, I went and worked on other stuff. I finally recorded my mashup cover arrangement of Aglock and Emperor in the Shadow of the Black Wizards. I was really happy with how that turned out. In fact, I was able to release it before I saw Emperor play live in May of 2025. That was the best show ever. After that, I decided it was time to start Atrophy. Atrophy is the outlet for all of the music I want to write that doesn't fit the mold for Apathy, which I want to remain as a melodic black metal project. I have in the past released music that didn't quite fit, and I put it out under my own name, specifically the albums Serpent and 1105, but there are actually multiple Apathy albums that in hindsight, I would prefer to have released under a different name as well. So this is my way of kind of correcting that. So now I have Atrophy. And for the first album, I want to honor another anniversary. 20 years ago, I started playing guitar in September of 2006. It changed everything for me. I fell in love with classic rock, hard rock, heavy metal, and eventually black metal. But before 2006, I was just a kid in middle school, listening to whatever music was playing on the bus. That music happened to be Lil Jon and the East Side Boys, Mike Jones, Paul Wall. I'm not closing the book on the hip hop arc, and frankly, it would be pretty sick and hilarious if I just dropped a rap mixtape out of the blue. But next to Atlanta Crunk and Houston Chopped and Screwed, there was another massively popular style of music which I loved and still do. Atrophy Album 1 is going to be alternative rock, pop punk, emo, Smashing Pumpkins, Green Day, Yellowcard, the teenage angst that raised my generation. It's not just a throwback, it's a tribute. This isn't the first time I've sung, but I'm definitely singing a lot more than normal, and there's still plenty of screams and solos, big riffs. Metal is still at the heart of this. The album is going to come out on a new channel, Atrophy BM, which already exists. There's going to be a link. You can subscribe to that if you're interested. The music will come out on the Apathy BM Bandcamp because I don't want to manage multiple Bandcamp accounts. That's just too complicated on the logistics side. It's still underground, independent, and free to download because that's how I do it. The album is fully recorded and I'm almost done with mixing. It should be released in 2 to 3 weeks. I'm going to set a hard deadline of March 1st, which I usually beat, so we'll see. Anyway, fuck AI. Thanks.